The elements are, there are three types of elements of delegation. One is authority, the second one is responsibility, and the last one is accountability. You will actually get the specialized knowledge about it. That is, what is the specialized knowledge? Now, delegation of authority gives a very good opportunity to the subordinates to grow various objectives of the organization. That means here they only work for the motivational factors like physiological needs, the social needs, the safety needs. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyashram First Aid College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the next session of organizing and staffing, and in this session we're gonna actually go with the topic called advantages of delegation. Now, what exactly we learned in the last session? That is all about delegation. A quick recall for all the students here, that is, delegation means transfer of authority and responsibility from the superior to the subordinate. But here you need to understand that delegation is all about a temporary arrangements. Now, here in delegation, we also learned about elements of delegation. That is, the elements are, there are three types of elements of delegation. One is authority, the second one is responsibility, and the last one is accountability. When we understand the authority, that is, authority is all about the powers, responsibility means it is all about obligation, and accountability in the sense the subordinate need to address each and everything to the superior about any variances if he finds, and he is accountable for it. And also I told you that accountability cannot be delegated. So these are the things which you people should know, and also you are supposed to know that there are few differences about authority and responsibility. What exactly it is? Now, authority and responsibility, when we understand, the two very important differences is authority flows from top to bottom and responsibility goes from bottom to top. There is one more differences about authority and responsibility, that is, authority is a legal provision for the superior to the subordinate. That means the powers are with the superior and the superior will use it towards their subordinates. And here in responsibility, we also know that the subordinate are obligated for their duties and they are supposed to report it to the superiors. That is what the responsibility is all about. So let's go with the advantages of delegation. What are the advantages? Why delegation is useful? The first one is, it is a basis of effective functioning. When I say functioning, here you need to understand planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. It is a basis of functioning. It saves time. It reduces the work. When we go with this, it reduces the work. That means the superior will give all the work to the subordinate. So it reduces the work of superior, not the subordinate. Next is opportunity for development. Now, any superior giving a chance to the subordinate, now it is an opportunity for the subordinate to develop in his career. Benefit of specialized service. Anybody who is specialized, only those people will get delegated. Now, when they get delegated, now what happens is they can get the master of whatever they have actually learned it and they can polish their skills. Efficient running of branches, interest and initiative. Now, who will actually get delegated? That is a person who is initiative and he has the interest to do that and he takes more responsibility. Satisfaction to subordinates, that is what the thing is, that is delegation will always make sure that the subordinates are happy that the superior are noticing them and they are giving the authority and responsibility to the subordinates. And lastly is expansion and diversification of business activity. So there is always an expansion when we go with delegation because you are supposed to always grow in the business. And the second one here is it creates the relationship with others and achieve various objectives of the organization. That means here what happens, there is always a relationship with others and they always go with achieving various objectives of the organization. Say example, I'll tell you here. When we go with the delegation, what happens is we have this person A and we have this person B. Now, supposingly, employee A, who is a superior than employee B. Now, A is a superior and B is a subordinate. And we know that delegation actually happens with authority and responsibility, where authority flows from top to bottom and responsibility go from bottom to top. This is responsibility here and this is authority here. Now, supposingly, a person A, he goes to Dubai for 15 days, right? Just an example which I'm giving it to you, 15 days. Now what happens is, employee B, he will actually come to the A position. That is what delegation is. That is transfer of authority and responsibility. I'll draw here one more. Now what has happened is, right now B is here. Supposingly, we have one more called C. Now C will come to B's position because again delegation should happen. Now after 15 days, now A will return to India, and when he returns, what happens is, now the process A will be the superior, B is the subordinate. For B, C will be the subordinate. Now the work of A should not be null. That is, work of A should always be getting done from B. That is how the delegation happens. That means, in the absence of A, who is working on or the works of A? That is employee B. That means A is getting the work done through delegating, and delegation is one purpose where the work will not be halted. Now understand, it creates the relationship with others and achieve various objectives of organization. Even if A is not there in the organization, but A is getting his work done. So delegation lays the basis of effective functioning of an organization. That is, effective functioning will happen. Second is saving of time. Delegation of authority enables the superior to allot more time to important matters like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and coordinating with controlling and decision making. Now what exactly here it is? That is, whenever we go with any of the delegations, what happens is, we'll go with the same kind of a thing. Now we have A here, we have B, and we have C. Now the levels of management is all set. Now A will give the delegation to B. When he delegates anything, what happens is, now B will actually work on behalf of A. That is, all the work will be done of A. And A will be relieved, and when A is relieved, what happens is, A can now concentrate on other things apart from doing the routine work. Now when A will actually get more time because B is doing A's work, now what happens simultaneously is, even B can give delegations to C so that C can actually work on behalf of B. Now delegation of authority enables the superior. Now who is the superior? A is the superior. Now A is the superior right now, to allot more time so that he can actually go with all the functions of management. We call that as functions of management, FOM. So the next one here we have is reduction of work. Now here what exactly happens when you go with the reduction of work? Now delegation receives the superior from attending to the routine matters, and normally the routine matters are allotted, that is allocated to the subordinates. It helps the superior to carry out more responsible work all alone. That means here you need to understand, the work will be actually reduced, and he can, that is the manager, can actually think about something else, and he can get all the work done from the subordinates, because the superior, when they give delegation, they also have something called responsibility. And after that we have the one more topic, that is opportunity for development. Now here you need to understand the advantages of delegation. You always create opportunity. Now delegation of authority gives a very good opportunity to the subordinates to grow. It helps in identifying the best person among the various subordinates for development. Now usually what happens when we go with functional structure, which I have taught you, that Functional structure is all about, now we have here the managing director, and then we have the departments, that is we have HRM, human resource management, then we have here called financial management, and the last one here we'll take only three, marketing manager here. So we have this department, that is HR manager, finance manager, marketing manager. Supposing the HR managers have two of the wings, that is here we have A and B. In the same way we have here C and D. And the finance, if we go with it, there are two heads, that is E and F. Now what happens is, now the managing director, he really wants to attend some other meeting which is held in the foreign country, and he goes to the foreign nation for say 10 to 15 days. Now here 10 to 15 days, we don't know what exactly the time is where he'll actually return to India. Now the managing director need to delegate the work. I'll give you one of the example of each department. Now managing director thought that now he can give a delegation to HR manager to be the in charge MD, to be the in charge. Now the question is, why did he choose only the HR manager? Why did he not choose the finance manager or the marketing manager? That is when you will identify that the first time they'll go with a kind of a record saying that who is doing better. In delegation, see, I'll tell you, it is not so easy just to give authority and responsibility to somebody, right? You are supposed to first check that who is a person who is capable of handling those positions, who is capable to work for the organization, and who is capable of doing all the things without any mistakes and getting the things efficiently done by others. Now what happened is, the managing director thought that the HR manager can be a person who can be delegated. Now the manager gives authority and responsibility to the HR manager. Now supposing the HR manager becomes the in charge managing director. Now HR manager have few roles, right, and duties to be done. Now what happens, there are two subordinates of HR manager. Now again, HR manager needs to give delegation. So understand here, opportunity for development. If the HR manager, whoever has got the job of the in charge managing director for 10 days or 15 days, if he does the work what the managing director couldn't do it, if he achieves the target or the sales, and if he performs really better, now the board of directors can always check into it that who will be the next managing director. See, these are the opportunity which you people will actually get in your lifetime also. So that is a time we are not supposed to say no, we will not do it. Always take the opportunity and make a good use of those opportunities. Benefits of specialization. Benefits of specialization. Here, if you understand that as a specialized services, delegation helps the superior to get the benefit of specialized knowledge of various persons at lower levels. Next is, for example, production is delegated to the production manager, sales to sales manager, and legal matters to the lawyer and the like. Now here what happens, the same kind of a thing, right? When we go with this, say managing director is here, we have three departments. That is, the first one is the production. Now we are going with division structure. The previous one was function structure according to the function. Now it is the division. Now here division we have is what? We have here production, then we have sales, right? Sales, and we have the legal. So these are the divisions. Now here the production is given to the production manager. Now how will he perform? The sales is given to the sales manager, and we have the legal to actually the lawyer, who is actually the in-house lawyer of the firm, lawyer. Now what happens is, the managing director will get to know who is efficient among each, because you will actually get the specialized knowledge about it. That is, what is the specialized knowledge? Now the sales manager will know everything about the sales. The same way, the lawyer will know all the legal formalities. That is how the managing director will get more use. That is what it is called benefit of specialized services. Delegation helps the superior. Now, who is the superior? Managing director is a superior to get the benefit of specialized knowledge of various person at lower level. So these are the things which you should always know. One more advantage we have is efficient running of branches. That is, if the business has any branch, the branch affairs or activities are looked after by the separate person. He is supposed to be in charge of this branch when he can get adequate authority with responsibility. See, anybody without authority and without responsibility, they cannot perform better, because nobody gonna listen to you if you don't have a proper authority. But just giving authority, I'll tell you, even that is bad, because if a person gets only authority, he'll start dictating his terms. He'll be an autocratic leader. Now, when he becomes an autocratic leader, it is very difficult to control him. He could work for the smooth and effective function. See, only a person who gets authority with responsibility, they go with smooth and effective functioning of the particular branches. After efficient running of the branches, we have is interest and initiative. Students, you need to always take initiative and you should always have an interest to work more. The more you work, what happens is you will be recognized by your superior as well as people who are there who are going to go for your performance appraisal as well as compensation. So here, whenever the delegation of authority takes place, the subordinate may do the work with interest. And one more is, in certain cases, there are few subordinates by themselves, they actually feel like they should work more, and they go to the superior and ask for more work. So this is also what, it's always an add-on to the subordinates, and the superior always feel good when the subordinate themselves have so much interest and they take initiative to work more. Satisfaction of subordinates here. Delegation of authority will satisfy the self-actualization need of the individual. When I say need of the individual, I always think about Maslow's theory. When you understand the Maslow's theory of need of hierarchy, why does any of the employee work? They only work for the motivational factors like physiological needs, the social needs, the safety needs, kind of a thing, right? So when you understand the chronological order of Maslow, the first step is all about the physiological needs, followed by the safety needs, then you have social needs, then you have esteem needs, and at last you have self-actualization kind of a need. Now here what happens, the minute somebody gives you a delegation, there is always a thing that superior will always have that kind of a thing, feeling called self-actualization, that is need of the individual. That is, you will actually go with delegation of authority will satisfy, it satisfies the self-actualization needs of the individual, that is the superior. The reason why the superior will feel is, now his work will be done by the subordinate, now he feels relaxed. But the question is, just by giving delegation, will you get self-actualized? Definitely no. Only if the subordinate works efficiently and get the work done on time, that is the time you can actually go with self-actualization. Or else sometimes there are so many subordinates who will not work properly, or they will not meet the standard of the organization. That time I don't think the delegation will actually lead to the satisfaction of self-actualization need. Lastly, we have as expansion and diversification of business activity. When we go with this business activity, the subordinates are fully trained in decision making in various fields of the business by using the delegation of authority. This type of talent of subordinates can be used by the top management in the expansion and diversification of the business activity. Whenever we go with any of the delegation, please understand the subordinates are fully trained. That is the first point, that is, they are fully trained in decision making in various field of business by using delegation of authority. When you have skilled people, what really happens is, when you have trained people, what happens is, you can always expand your business, you can always grow in your business, and the productivity will be definitely more. That's the reason delegation is very much important. So these are the advantages of delegations. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.